In today's video, ORORON, a young man from the Masters of the Ninth Wind who instead lives in the wild, spending his time talking to vegetables he cultivates. ORORON is a 4-star electro character, bow user, battery and electro player for electro charge teams, but this doesn't limit his versatility for team comps. In this video you'll find tips, talents, explanations, artifact sets, weapons and more, so keep watching if you want to have the best ORORON in Genshin. But before getting started, if you have crazy builds or if you're struggling in building a character, you can join my Discord server where you can flex or ask for tips to improve your character's build. You can also ask to be included in future videos and be part of other communities to make friends and have fun in other games when you're not playing Genshin. You're more than welcome to join, and with that out of the way, here's his character investment, and let's jump right into his active talents. With the normal attack, he performs up to 3 consecutive shots with a bow, and with the charge attack he performs a more precise aim shot with increased damage as usual, but he doesn't use normal attacks and charge attacks unless in certain situations. With the skill, ORORON throws a Spirit Orb of Midnight Shade dealing Night Solar Line electro damage. When other opponents are nearby, the Spirit Orb will bounce between them dealing Night Solar Line electro damage. Each time the skill is used, each opponent can only be selected as a target once, so you can hit an opponent twice or more times. After 3 bounces, or if there are no eligible targets left, the orb will disappear, so this is a good skill for electro application and for triggering elemental reaction. With the burst, ORORON deals Night Solar Line AoE electro damage, summoning forth a supersonic oculus which continuously taunts nearby opponents and attracts attacks from them, and continuously rotates, firing off sonic waves that deal Night Solar Line electro damage. This is really good since you have electro application and you're sure opponents won't move and will take those instance of electro damage since it also taunts them. So the level priority is burst, skill and last normal attack. Let's have a look at his passive talents now. After a nearby party member triggers Night Soul Burst, ORORON will gain 40 Night Soul points within 15 seconds after using his elemental skill. When other party members hydro or electro attacks his opponents, ORORON will gain 5 Night Soul points. Also, when nearby opponents take electro charge reaction damage or Night Solar Line damage dealt by other nearby characters, ORORON will consume 10 Night Soul points, entering the Night Soul Blessing state and trigger the Hypersense effect, which deals Night Soul aligned electro damage based on 160% of ORORON's attack to at most 4 nearby opponents. So with Hydro and Electro hits, he gains 5 Night Soul points, and when Electro Charge is triggered, he loses 10 Night Soul points. In this way, ORORON has his Night Soul Blessing state and a personal state which increases his damage. With the second one, after the skill Spirit Orb hits an opponent, ORORON will gain the Aspect Sigil effect for 15 seconds. When a nearby active party member hits an opponent with normal charge or plunging attack, the character will restore 3 energy. If ORORON is off field, ORORON will also restore 3 energy. This effect can be triggered once every 1 second and can trigger 3 times per duration. This is really good for rotation since your character can have 9 energy and ORORON too if it's off field, so it's pretty useful. Not outstanding but decent. Third is the usual exploration mechanic within Netland and comes really useful for puzzles and explorations. Last one increases gliding speed for your own party members by 15%, also good for exploration. Before we uncover these artifacts options, the majority of the viewers are not subscribed, so subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and make sure to activate the notifications to not miss out any future guides of your favorite characters. Now we can have a look at these artifacts options. For 2-piece you can use 2-piece attack, Gladiator, Shimenawa and all others, 2-piece electro damage bonus, Thundering Fury, 2-piece energy recharge, Emblem of Third Fate, and 2-piece Elemental Mastery, Wanderer's Troop, Gilded Dreams, and Flower of Paradise Lost. This is for different teams, not for an Electro Charge ORORON. For 4-piece you can use Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, which gives elemental energy with the 2-piece, and the 4-piece grants an elemental damage bonus for the elemental types involved in the elemental reaction ORORON triggers, so really good. Also ORORON as an electro character has an elemental reaction with all other 6 elements in the game, so it comes really handy in team comps. Emblem of Third Fate, which gives him energy recharge and increases his burst damage based on the percentage of ER he has. He is a Barry, so he takes the most out of this piece since he is supposed to have a lot of energy recharge. Flower of Paradise Lost, which increases Dendro related reaction. I know it could sound weird, but Electro goes really well with Dendro, and also it is possible to trigger Electro Charge in Hyper Bloom teams. But a more specific options for him is Thundering Fury, which increases Electro Charge damage, so he can take the most of this set too. The rank of his best 4-piece set is Emblem in 3rd place, Thundering and Flower in 2nd place, and Scroll in 1st place. Keep in mind that based on the artifact set you decide to give him, he will have different roles in the teams. Main stats are attack or energy recharge on the sand, attack or electro damage bonus on the goblet. If you have a C2 and Scroll on him, you can go for attack and crits on the circlet. Substats are crits, attack, energy recharge, and lastly elemental mastery. Let me know in the comment section if you think ORORON is worth playing in Hyperbloom teams or not. And now we can have a look at his weapons options. First option is Aqua Simulacrum, which gives him a lot of crit damage and a good amount of attack. The effect increases damage by 20%. Elegy for the End, which is the best bow for support characters. It gives energy recharge. The effect gives him elemental mastery and also grants to all party members to have a buff in elemental mastery and attack, which is good for elemental reactions damage. Skyward Harp if you don't have anything, but it's still a good alternative for him since it gives crit rate and a lot of attack. The effect increases crit damage and deals an instance of AoE physical damage to opponents. 4 stars options are Favonius Warbow, which gives him a lot of energy recharge, which is good for him. Always remember to have crit rate for the bonus, which gives you even more energy recharge. Range Gauge, which increases his personal damage, in which it gives attack, and with the effect further increases it, buffing also is elemental damage. Last option is Sacrificial Bow, which gives energy recharge and the effect allow you to use his skill twice. I think it comes really handy in Hyperbloom teams since you firstly use it to trigger the Nightfall Burst and increase danger and electro damage if you have a Latham or Tenai for example, and after you apply Hydra on enemies, he can use the skill and burst to activate his Nightfall Blessing state in the right way. Let's have a look at his constellations now. With the first one, the elemental skill Spirit Orb can bounce 2 additional times, so 5 times. Additionally, after the Spirit Orb hits an opponent, it will apply the Night Tide effect to them for 12 seconds, which makes opponents take 50% increased damage from Hyper Sense triggered by the passive talent, so really good for his personal damage. With the second one, after using his Elemental Burst, ORORON will obtain the Spiritual Super Sense effect for 9 seconds, which grants him 8% electro damage bonus. Additionally, during this time, every additional opponent hit by his Elemental Burst will grant ORORON a further 8% electro damage bonus. The maximum that can be gained this way is 32% electro damage bonus. This is really good too since this bonus is almost a goblet in electro damage bonus. Third, increases the level of the burst by 3. Perfect. Fourth, the Supersonic Oculus summoned by the Elemental Burst rotates 25% faster. Additionally, ORORON will restore 8 energy to himself after using his burst. This is the usual 4th constellation buff, energy regeneration, etc. In this case it's good since his burst cost is 60, so he can dedicate to generate particles for others if he's always ready, and also the burst deals more damage since it rotates faster. Fifth, increases the level of the skill by 3. And last one, after triggering Hypersense through the passive talent, your current active character attack is increased by 10% for 9 seconds for a max of 3 stacks, so 30%. Additionally, when you use ORORON's Elemental Burst, you will trigger 1 instance of an effect equivalent to Hypersense, dealing 200% of its original damage. This is a good constellation. You have more damage from ORORON and also a buff in attack for your active character, which is really good. Let's have a look at his team comps now. As I already mentioned, he takes advantage from electrocharge reactions, as Kinich does with Burgeon. The difference between both is that Kinich is a main DPS, so it's better to always include Pyro in his teams to maximize his damage. Contrary to that, ORORON is a support, so in the following team comps options, I will include teams with other elements other than Hydro and Electro. Besides that, let's still start with an Electrochart team with Raiden, ORORON, Kokomi, and Furina. In this case, you can start with Furina, Skill and Burst, ORORON, Skills and Burst, Kokomi, Skill for Healing, and lastly Raiden, which won't take any damage from Electrocharge, which is really good. Of course, you can replace Raiden with any Electro DPS you like. Out of Electrocharge, we can have an Hyperbloom team with Alatham, Naida, ORORON, and Furina, so a Quick Bloom team where ORORON replaces Kuki. So you don't have a healer, but you could give the Prototype Ember to Nahida, which will heal your characters after she uses her burst. Thanks to ORORON's buff in danger damage, Alatham would be really strong, so opponents may not survive enough to kill you. Also, ORORON's burst taunts opponents' hits, so it's even fitting. But of course, these were just examples. You can use ORORON with every element, and every team wears at least one Hydro character, so have fun in playing him, and that's all you needed to know about our farmer ORORON. I hope this video came useful to you. Don't forget to leave a comment on what you think of this character. I remind you to subscribe to the channel and also to my TikTok and Instagram accounts, to join my Discord server if you want to participate to the next videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!